Yo, yo, yo.
Hello.
Welcome to Live to Tell, episode 3.
Yeah.
We are getting progressively better at this, I think.
We're telling ourselves that at least.
All right. Play the opening, Emily. So, welcome back.
All right.
Before we kick it off, Cassie, let's explain something to our readers, our watchers, whatever they're called. So the point of us doing Live to Tell is to humanize stories in a much larger way. If you've caught any of our first 2 episodes, we interviewed Scott Thompson and Josh York. And hopefully the material is more general business than specific to franchising, as this is now or soon going to be broadcast over multiple publications that are run by our team. But we love hearing great entrepreneurial stories. So if you have them, please email us. You can email Nick at 1851franchise.com. And we'll check out that story. So if you have a good story, let us know, because we may want to feature you on our next podcast.
Yeah.
Great. All right, let's kick this off.
All right. Fantastic. So I know that things but Papa John Schnatter, he finally stepped away from the board of Papa John's, which seems like a little bit overdue, but he is officially reached an agreement with the brand, so he's finally going to be out of there, and he's still going to somehow remain the largest shareholder. But
yeah, I mean, good move. I don't know if this is exactly the reason, but February 21st, their stock price was at $41.07. Today, it's at $45.56. So it went up a bit. Year to date, we are also at the highest number in a year. So it's a sign of confidence with the shareholders. I would imagine franchisees are feeling pretty good about it. It's amazing how much a personality can affect the brand. What does surprise me, the only brand that seems invincible to it is Amazon. That you have a CEO having an affair, a very public affair, and sending dick pics to people and getting exposed for it. Doesn't seem to have affected that brand. I would say that's going to be the exception to the rule. Here's someone who made some mistakes as a CEO, continued to defend himself, not come out with a straight apology, and is now out of the brand that he founded. So, the right move for the brand.
I mean, I think that's ultimately, it's like the same thing with celebrities who do messed up things. If you're famous enough or your brand is convenient enough, like a Prime, people don't care. You have to do something seriously wrong for people to care. Papa John's wasn't big enough for people not to care about it.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, good. Again, if the stock price is moving, I would say that's a good confidence meter of those that have invested in the brand. So, right move.
All right, on a celebrity. So Danny, I don't know who this is.
I love this part.
Me trying to figure out how to pronounce things. Danny.
When we bring games back, Trejo.
Yeah, I was gonna say Trejo.
I don't even know who he is. What does he do?
Expanding a taco chain.
Yeah, but who is he?
He is.
He is.
He had roles in Machete and From Dusk Till Dawn, neither of which I've seen. Sorry, Danny.
So, C-list celebrity opens a taco chain,
and that's now expanding. So
All
I guess
right.
they had one they first opened in 2016, and now they have 7 locations.
Oh, it's his tacos. Well, first, is it Trejo?
Tacos?
Trejo?
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 Okay, it's definitely not Trejo.
I mean, that's how you spell it, but
yeah.
All right. Everybody seems to think that they can get in the taco business. Good for you. I wish you
Good for you.
All the best.
Good for you is like the Midwestern bless your heart.
It is bless your heart. I don't know what else to say. A dude opened a taco shop. Look, at the end of the day, just because you're an actor doesn't mean you're going to be able to operate a restaurant. So sorry, there's the truth. Get a good operator, Danny. Have someone who can work your restaurants, because it's not easy. Trust me, it's not easy to run a restaurant.
No.
I can't even run a kitchen. I spill boiling water on my feet. So Danny, I'm not saying that I could do it any better. But don't make it about you, the actor, because I mean maybe people know who he is. I'm gonna Google him right now.
Of your subgenre.
I guess so. I would have called it.
Oh, that guy!
I know that dude.
Sorry, Danny. We were super harsh, but now I totally know.
That's what it should have been called. Oh, that guy tacos, because everybody would have it when you see your picture. Now people know who you are. All right, way to go, dude. You're 74. You started a taco business.
I can't believe I never knew his name.
Yeah, you should. Oh, that guy tacos. That would have. You're welcome. Change the name now.
Oh man.
All right.
Back to pizza. So for cash money, Domino's, they opened up their 16,000th store in Cheektowaga, New York. So it's their own kind of Sweet 16 March Madness, but that's a lot of pizza locations. The
brand plans to invest up to $120 million in its supply chain to support the opening of additional 2,000 stores in the U.S. over the next decade.
When are they gonna burst?
Holy shit! America's gonna get fat. Get fat on Domino's.
I was gonna say fatter.
Oh man, 2,000 more locations.
That's so many Domino's.
Yeah, good luck.
Is there anyone left that doesn't live within delivery range of a Domino's?
Yeah, that's the bigger question. Aren't you cannibalizing the sales for your existing All right, if you can see 2,000 more locations in the U.S., if you think that's going to make a big difference, I don't know. I would focus on building what you got, but
yeah,
that's my 2 cents. I am Nancy negative Nancy. Debbie Downer. Like, I'm negative on all these stories. Sorry, I gotta get half full, dudes.
There we go. Here, let's see what your thoughts on this are.
This is dumb shit too.
It kind of is. The flip phone is apparently making a comeback, even though no one's going to ditch their Apple products ever. I guess it's for those people that want to feel
the flip phone.
Foldable phones.
That's not a flip phone.
There was a brand that brought back a flip phone.
Yeah, what is it called?
I don't know.
Right, because it never brought it back.
Yeah.
There's your Fran Funny from 3 weeks ago.
Oh my god.
Why?
Samsung's Galaxy Fold.
Dude,
for
$1,900.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
$2,000.
This is insane.
And who HUAWEI, again, another brand name that should have been, that's what it's called. $2,600 for a phone that bends. Get out of here.
Foldable
Dumb
phones
story. That's
phones.
backward thinking.
Who needs to be able to bend a phone like a buck?
Nobody.
The whole purpose.
Nobody.
I mean,
my kids, but nobody.
My kids.
All right, friend or foe?
Friend or foe?
Pizza again.
I know. Back to pizza. So they're testing charging extra for Parmesan and red pepper. I feel like America isn't going to be cool with that. And Europe, they charge for condiments. But here we expect that there's going to be the cheese and the pepper and the ketchup and whatever on the table for free.
I thought this was dumb when I saw last week. Look. Hey, shout out to Maddie, our writer. Maddie wrote this, right?
Yeah.
Maddie, you must have been in a bad mood this week. You picked all these stories of bad things going on with brands. None of these brands will be able to live to tell any of these stories because none of it. Domino's not getting 2,000 units. The foldable phone is not going to. It won't take off. It doesn't make it easier. Foldable phone, get out of here. Charging for Parmesan and red pepper. Come on, Pizza Hut. You're going to nickel and dime your customers in a time where you are not the leader in the category?
People that eat at Pizza Hut are already nickel and diming their own budgets. They're not going to shell out another 99 cents.
The only good thing that came out of Live to Tell so far is Danny. We're rewriting his business. It's called I Know That Guy. Tacos.
That actor.
Oh, I know those tacos. That guy's tacos.
That
All
guy's
right.
tacos.
All right, go ahead.
All right.
Importance of hustle.
Yeah. We were just talking about this.
Yep.
So this comes from a Chicago real estate pro whose name is Kim Howard. So you can check this out on Estate Envy. I know that we talk about 1851 a lot, but it's
EE, what up?
Okay. So this is the quote. I'm a firm believer that mindset is everything in life and business, and having that positive mentality before I even leaped into business for myself was so valuable to me. I went into real estate believing I would succeed, and I think with all of the hustle, energy, and dedication being a real estate broker takes, that helped a lot and still does to this day.
There's one term there, one word that I think everybody needs to focus on. Hustle.
Mm-hmm.
Cassie, you and I were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
Hustle's important in life.
It is.
All right, heating up.
Yes.
What did I talk about?
Your
Is it my
butt.
turn? Here we go. wrote this book.
I'm excited to read it now that it's officially out.
Really cool shout outs that I got yesterday. It just came out. Came out yesterday.
Yeah.
Inc. Magazine is the publisher.
Which is dope.
The only thing that I think doesn't make sense, it says, in Sticks and Stones, author and CFE, Nick Powills. Like, 5 people will know what a CFE is. So they're like, ooh, a CFE. Is this guy's a certified educator?
In franchising.
Chief fat eater? I mean, that kind of goes with my story. Anyway, it's cool that the book is out. It took a lot longer than I expected. I wrote this book. Here's the brief story, and you can read my column on 1851. I don't know if it goes up on Estate Envy yet, but
it does.
Oh, it does. Maybe
it does tomorrow.
Well, 1851, you can read it. So I wrote this book. I thought it was good. I put a lot of humor in it. I wanted humor meets business. I let my number one fan, Sharon Powills, read the book. She said it was great. I think what she meant was it's a good starting point, because then I pitched it to agents and publishers and got rejected a whole bunch. Now, in retrospect, the first book that I wrote was not great. It was a whole bunch of words. It was more pages, and it was a good idea. I mean, the concept was still here. The original title was going to be I'll Always Be the Fat Kid, because what I was saying and trying to put into words was that the pain that I feel from being fat still motivates me to have success today. Then I get a publisher, which runs the Inc. imprint. They assign me an editor, and the editor basically says, no good. I had to rewrite the whole thing, start to finish. But as challenging of a process it was, equally rewarding, because this is what came out of it. My hope is that we can inspire some folks with this book. Website is Stickstone, SOAR. Soar. Yeah, Emily thought, she's like, why do you love OAR so much? So you can go check it out. For clients of our brands, I've already started doing this. I'll do speaking engagements. No speaker costs, save the money. You just have to buy a book for the folks that are in your audience. But yeah, I hope that someone reads this and gets motivated to do something awesome. Foundation, your story plus momentum, you taking a chance equals velocity when you can break through brick walls, which obviously we're taking this episode doing right now. So appreciate you listening to me.
And it's not ghostwritten.
So yeah, it was heavy editing. Lauren Mormon in our company helped out a lot, and I had a really cool editor that pushed me on it. So that's that.
Cool.
Anything else for this week?
No, that's it before we break for the interview.
Sorry for being so negative, guys. I mean, those stories were just like, come on, business, get better. Right?
Yeah.
Get better. All right. Coming up next, Life Drives Success. See you soon.
See ya.
In this episode of Life Drives Success, Tim Jensen, president of Grunt Style. Coming up next. What is up, my friend Tim? How's it going?
Nick, I am enjoying a nice, brisk, sunny day here in San Antonio. How about yourself, my friend?
You look happy, and that's all that matters.
Indeed.
So let's kick this off. Before we get deep into the story, why don't you give our viewers some background on you and your business?
Sure. So my name's Tim Jensen. I was formerly the chief operating officer here at Grunt Style and was recently promoted to president. We're an e-commerce-based, veteran-owned, veteran-operated business and the largest patriotic apparel company in the military space right now. So very excited to be on the show and talk a little bit about our company. We've been around since 2009. We screen print. A lot of our product is basically t-shirts, hoodies, and hats. It's our core. But we're getting more into the lifestyle brand and really just producing some great product that is beer guaranteed for life. Meaning that you rip it, stand it, tear it, choke out a terrorist with it. You can send it back to us and you get a replacement free of charge.
Has anyone returned a product for choking a terrorist?
No, but we got some interesting beer guarantees. We actually keep a book of our more funny ones. We had one individual get into a chainsaw fight with his brother and sent back a bloody shirt.
Yes, love it. All right. Before we dive, I mean, there's a million topics I want to talk about, but first one is you personally. You come into a company and work from ground up. What motivated you to keep fighting to become president?
It was opportunity, right? I'm one of those individuals that I love a great challenge. I love to be personally challenged. And when I came into the company, I was a union carpenter before that. I was in the military. Had my own little art studio, producing comic books. But I wasn't really happy with what I was doing, and I wanted to get back into the space of the veteran community because it's a huge fraternity. For those of you out there that have any previous military experience, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That was missing in my life, and when I saw the opportunity with Grunt Style, my initial interview was for a graphic designer. And I brought in my stuff. I was really happy, excited, and Daniel, the CEO and the founder, took a look at the stuff, and it wasn't what he was looking for. So, I left with my head down. It was really I was kind of upset because I've gone through so many interviews. I have a degree in game theory, creating video games, and none of it was panning out. And this was my last ditch effort, really. And I was going to go home to my wife and say that it didn't work out. But Daniel gave me a phone call on the way home and, said that there's something about me that he wanted to bring me on the team, although it wasn't going to be in that graphic designer position. I was like, okay, what do you have in mind? And he presented folding T-shirts, and I was like, okay, I'll take it. Because when I walked in the building, I felt everything that I experienced on that military side was that fraternity, that pride. It was just bleeding from the walls. And it was really something of an experience. So I took it and went from folding T-shirts to being a press operator, the lead press operator, production manager, operations manager, chief operating officer. Was made partner 2 years ago, and now I have become the president of the company. So I think the story really is that there was a lot of opportunity to just build things, and my personality and who I am, I like to tinker. I like to. I'm a process-oriented type of individual. So having the opportunity to really build things was a challenge, and I took it and ran with it.
Do you feel like at that point in your life, when you've basically been rejected as a designer, that what your life needed at that point was someone saying that they believed in you? Was that missing?
I think at that moment it was. Yeah, I would agree with that. Really, there was. When you go and get turned down after interview after interview after interview, and that you got the skill. I mean, I was creating comic books, right? And I was invited 3 times to the C2E2 in Chicago, Wizard World Chicago, right? I had good designs, I had good stuff, right? But when it came to working for another individual, right, it just didn't seem like I had what everybody was looking for. So that was a kick in the shorts. And it really, took the sails out of the wind out of my sails. And the opportunity that Dan had provided me, it was refreshing, right? It was an opportunity to really show my worth and my capabilities.
I feel like, at least knowing you as much as I do, I feel like us as humans, we have the ability to be a president or CEO. It's inside of us. But sometimes the ingredients that we need is just that opportunity. Because the reality is, I would imagine if you look back at your life at that point, you were still hustling the same way that you may hustle today. You might not know as much. You might have not known as much then as you do now. But the reality is it was still you. That right. Someone had to discover that in you and say, all right, this guy actually has what we're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% agree. I mean, there is nothing that I'm doing that is, that anybody out there can't do, right? And it really comes down to how much dedication and personal drive do you have? I mean, are you going to be the one that says, I don't want to take that challenge because it's too hard and I'm going to have to invest so much of my time in it? Or are you going to be the one that says, you know what? I'm not doing anything else. And this is a great opportunity and I'm willing to accept that challenge. And I'm the latter, right? And I think that you only have one opportunity on this planet, and I'm going to go kicking and screaming to the day I'm gone, making sure that I challenge myself every opportunity that I can. And the things that I've learned in this business, I've put myself through an education that most people would pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for at any type of Ivy League business school for an MBA that says you are qualified to do this, right? Well, I did it through sweat equity, and I'm pretty happy with the results.
So one thing that you talk about is this hustle or this drive, and obviously you were driven as a human being. You just needed the right widget that you could apply it towards. Does it? I mean, at least in today's world, does it frustrate you with not necessarily all teammates, but that not everybody has that same drive, that they're almost walking through life as a zombie, when if they would just hustle a little bit more, the opportunity is so much greater?
Yeah, frustration. I would say more disappointed, right? Because I see so much potential in everybody that walks through the doors here at Grunt Style. The disappointment comes in when they don't feel that they, for whatever reasons, they don't accept the challenges, right? And I know that they can do it, right? Because as a leader, it's our responsibility to motivate and get the best out of our teams at any point of the day, right? I mean, that's legitimately what my job is at the end of the day. Is how do I motivate you to get the results that the business needs? And everybody has that, right? But it's how much are you as an individual willing to reach down and grab it, right? And apply it. And sure, it's going to take, I like to call it mana, but it's going to take a lot of mana to do that, and energy. And, but again, what else is there to do? I mean, you can apply the things that you want towards something that that you can be successful in, or not, and then kind of slime your way through life and, do whatever it is that you feel that you need to do. I don't know. I mean, I'm not that type of person.
So you're talking about the value of the fraternity, and whether that's in the military or it's at Grunt Style, where you come in and you're part of family. Do you think having that type of culture, where it truly is I have your back type culture, that almost buys a little bit more room for people to find their own hustle, that they know that other people have their back, and they also know that they're going to be held accountable if they're not achieving what is possible, that because of a fraternity or a brotherhood type mentality, then transparency is always king, because you're able as a leader to say, dude, pick your shit up.
Right. Yeah, 100%. And the great thing about Grunt's story is I'm just one of many similar stories, right? There are so many people in this business that have come in at a production or a fulfillment job and have went through all these different stages of growth and have ended up into these larger positions, right? And it's a testament to again the culture, right? Our culture breeds that opportunity. For veterans that are coming into our business, our structure is very similar in what you would find in a military organization. We have rank, we have discipline, we have promotion ceremonies that you would find in the military. My quote unquote rank in the company is the company first sergeant. However, I was never a first sergeant in the military. I was just a sergeant in the Marines. But it's that rank structure and that culture that when you walk in, you immediately can say, you know what, I'm familiar with this. I can operate here. I can be successful because I'm familiar. There's not a huge learning curve for me, and I know the expectations because they're black and white. They're right in front of me. I know what my task is. I know what my mission is, and I know what resources and tools I need to be successful. Right. So I think that's where a lot of our success has been over the last few years, and ultimately how we were able to manage this hyper growth that we've been experiencing over the last 6 years.
So you obviously have the operational foundation down. For you personally, having that foundation, great. But what is motivating you every day? Is it family? Is it something bigger than that? Is it what is your motivation? What drives you to actually hustle the way that you do?
That's a great question, Nick. I think, and I think about this a lot. And what I ultimately come back to is, the reason why I joined the military, it wasn't for me, right? I remember my mother taking me, when I first told her I wanted to join the Marine Corps, she was almost in shock, right? Because she's a Vietnam era lady, and she saw all of her friends go off to combat. So we were living in North Carolina at the time, and she took me up to Washington during Memorial Day, and the first time that she's ever been there. And I watched her copy all the names off the walls of gentlemen that she went to high school with, and that was a very profound and memorable moment for me. And And that was the drive to join the Marine Corps, that I was doing something bigger than myself, right? I was contributing to a history of this country, good, bad, or indifferent. I mean, I'm not here to talk about politics or what, if these wars are just or not, right? That's not my job, right? The job of the United States military is to do the things that where politics has failed. And, I think that, that's been a driving force for me. And what we do here at Grunt Style is very similar. Reinstilling pride and patriotism, love of self, of country, of military, then our ethos, pride, self, pride, military, pride, and country. Those are the things that motivate me to get up every day, put my feet on the ground and say, it's time to do it again. We've only had 2 hours of sleep, but damn it, let's go out and change the world, right? Because, we live in a very unique time where, I don't think what Ronald Reagan said is, people really truly understand is that freedom is only one generation away. And, we're living in a world, although it is the most, peaceful in the history of human existence, but we're living in a very turbulent global society where freedoms are eroding day by day. And, damn it, for the United States to be what we are, it's our responsibility to lead the charge. And I think that our company plays a little bit of a part in that by reinstilling that patriotism across the United States through our product and the message that we bring to the nation.
Yeah, I feel I admire what you guys are doing as a company. I can look at it as an outsider, and what's interesting to me, at least, I can see the way that you operate the business, your leadership style. The ability to, you have a shitty day. It's not gonna end your life,
right?
And that mentality. From an outsider, I can look at it and say, well, man, if you applied that to any, it could just be business consulting, like how to operate like the military or a military mindset within business. Like there are so many different things that you can contribute, and you've chosen t-shirts as the widget. But the philosophy is so much deeper than that. And so getting to my point, I am deeply impressed with what you guys have done with social media. There are very few companies that understand that the term social is a part of what social media is. All they do is say, eat my pizza, buy my burger, look at my building. It's all bullshit. And here, what you're doing is you're creating authentic content that is resonating with the audience that then triggers them to buy. So I would imagine it's you being a jack of all trades that has landed you in a place of clear understanding what social is. But can you give some background on your mentality on how you guys are just freaking crushing it with social?
Sure. I mean, I think it's a larger answer, right? And let me start here. I mean, what we're doing here at Grunt Style is, it's not a secret sauce, right? What we have been able to do is take 247 years of military excellence and apply it to business, right? The only dynamics that have changed is, one, we're not being shot at, right? And the enemy's not looking to overrun our perimeter and destroy us. We just have taken all that refined leadership skills, that organizational, from organizational management, task and purpose, mission, quantifying that into a 5-paragraph order that's clear and concise from, situation, mission, execution, admin, control, and signal, right? How we operate and communicate internally. And then we just apply it to business. And, our what we do well, as you have mentioned, is in that social spot. And all we're really doing is we're just communicating our values, right? And we're doing it in a unique and satirical way that, we make a lot of fun of ourselves. We make a lot of fun of our military service, but we do it in a way that is absolutely engaging to where, Grunt Style is not the hero, right? We're not anything special. We're just a couple, we're an organization of, military people that have great pride in ourselves and our country. But through our content, we're just able to do it in a way that I can elicit an emotional and an engaging response from you that is going to be transferred into an impulse buy, right? Because at the end of the day, we're not selling shirts, we're not selling hoodies, we're not selling hats. What we're selling is pride, and I think that resounds astoundingly with a large segment of our community, and we just have a unique way of putting that message into the social spaces and using that tool to be our vehicle to get into front of mind of everybody that is a potential customer that really shares the same values that we do.
Did you feel like you nailed the voice right away, or did it take time to really understand the voice of who you were speaking to?
It took a little bit of time, but I would say that gap was not a huge divide, right? I think it was more of understanding, how veterans outside of military have kind of adjusted to their civilian surroundings, right? So that was how we had to kind of massage it. And once we found that groove, and it just kind of exploded, right? And that would happen around 2014 that we really found that right message. And you can see it. There's a lot of videos that are out there. Kind of, I'm in a lot of those, from our bedtime stories to these walk and talks. And people. I don't know if it's because of this beautiful face, but people find it enjoying, and our Violent but True Bedtime Stories is a huge success. And legitimately, all of this is we're telling great stories about Americans that have been put in some of the most horrific and highly challenging environments, and made a change, made a difference, saved some lives, and people just love it. And I'm just so happy that I can be a part of something that just making a difference.
I think you also make people smile. I mean, the Facebook "Go Eat a Dick" campaign is amazing. I think it's what is interesting about Facebook, and we've run into the same issues. That they want to filter, they want to put a lock on freedom of speech in a world where the human beings crave the ability to have freedom of speech. And here they're blocking you. They've blocked some of our other clients on messages that are important to them. And it's not fair. How did you come up with that campaign?
We put the shirt out, and then we knew that Facebook wasn't going to meet Facebook's rules, whatever you want to call them, right? And it wasn't long before they started ripping down all of our ads. I'm like, you know what? Our community is so engaged with us. This is probably a campaign that we don't necessarily have to put a lot of money behind, right? Just come up with an engaging video that kind of strikes the emotional set of people, because I don't know anybody that hasn't been put in Facebook jail at least once, right? So everybody has experienced it at some point. So tapping into that and coming up with a unique little marketing campaign that was funny, witty, and a lot, and it provided an opportunity for people to be a part of themselves and share in with their friends. And so now everybody can tell each other to go eat a dick.
I love it, man. Here's the truth. I think there are very few people in this world that live an authentic life. They may put images in front of them, or even in a social media world, they portray the person that they want to be. I appreciate that your company is transparent. I feel like you're transparent. It's love it or hate it. This is who we are. And I think if us as human beings were to behave more like that, then we would probably be happier as a culture as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is what I tell my kids, right? Listen, I'm crass. I'm a former combat veteran. I talk like a sailor. I drink like one too, and that's not going to change for no goddamn buddy. And this is who I am. If you don't like me, okay, cool. I'm sure that you're probably going to come across other people in your life that you don't like either. So have fun with that. But and I think being genuine and being authentic, that's a huge part of your brand as well. If you're obscuring your true intentions, and or really just have poor business ethics, those will come out. You can hide from them. You can throw up smoke and mirrors all you want. It will come around like a boomerang. But being authentic and just being who you are, people gravitate to that because we live in a society now where you see it in kids. There's so many children these days that are committing suicide over events that because they're trying to be things that they're not, when we should be teaching our children to be who you think that you want to be, or be yourself. Be what you. Who gives a damn what anybody thinks about you? Because at the end of the day, they're not living your life.
That's it. And it's hard in this world with the microscope that's on us as humans. But we have to set the tone for others. And I appreciate that you guys do that as a brand. I think many brands could look at you guys as a case study for whatever widget they are, and get the F out of their own way, be authentic, be real, and they would probably have much greater success, similar to what you guys are having.
Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're in business to make yourself famous or whatever, those are probably not the right reasons to be in business.
Absolutely. Tim, I appreciate
the most successful business.
Yep. Tim, I appreciate the time. I appreciate the story. I appreciate you. And I'll see you soon.
All right, Nick. Thank you very much. It was great speaking with you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.